When it comes to fixing my tails and my dings, I go to Jimbo's Dingos. Jimbo's Dingos. You can find us in Okay, that's enough self-promotion.
Does either one of you have anything even remotely interesting to tell me?
Caught my first tube this morning, sir.
The Shizzel on the Wizzel.
The Wizzel Shizzel.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
With Jaymin and Pear.
All right, okay. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Shizzle on the Wizzel, the second podcast this year. We just finished up with Pipeline. With me in the studio, I have, as usual, Jaymin Rowlands.
Yeah. Hey guys and girls. Yes, hello, I'm back.
I'll have to say a little bit with holding it back, the wizard of the Wizzel, Shizzle, fantasy, nizzle, knowledge well of
it's not the Grizzling.
It is Scott Erlandsen.
Hello,
yes,
Scotty.
Scotty.
And our special guest, the winner of last round, Pipeline, daddy of a new little girl,
right.
husband-to-be of Guru Honestar, Tim Matley.
Thanks for having me. Probably most barreled person in an undisclosed area in Norway today, for sure.
Thank you.
We don't talk about that. No, welcome, Tim. Good to have you here. About time. You've been collecting gifts last year with your girl together. You pretty much cleaned up everything here.
What's your fantasy secret, Tim? What's the golden?
At the moment, being unemployed.
Yeah.
Having heaps of time.
That's a good fantasy secret.
I found that worked.
That's
for
about
me
it.
as well. Yeah.
That's my secret fantasy too.
I think the whole speaker tent is that secret fantasy.
Yeah.
Sick. Good to have everybody here. Fantastic. We are in between competitions. So 2 days from now, today's Friday, Sunset's going to start. But we'll wait with that a little bit. Little bit around the table, impressions after the pipeline contest, which was in mediocre pipeline conditions.
Go on, fire away, Jaymin.
What do you want? Do you want the conditions downloaded? I thought it was probably similar to the year Robbie Page won. Was that 86 or something? The pipe. It was probably
totally
the worst pipeline. It was probably conditions-wise the worst conditions.
How far back are you
for
going?
a final?
Jamie was streaming in 86 already.
I was 10 years.
I was standing on the
point.
Yeah, go Pagey, by the way. I got one of his boards at home, his originals. Yeah. But anyway, I was a little bit disinterested. And I'm usually frothing at the thought of pipe, but the waves just weren't really doing anything.
It was pretty mediocre, wasn't it?
Super mediocre. I guess the first round of 32, there was some decent waves.
Yeah.
And then as the contest got closer to the finals, it kind of just got worse and worse and worse. It was just like, I missed the final because the other night I just thought, you know what, sleep feels better than actually watching this right now. Okay. So I watched the final yesterday and I thought to myself, wow, it was pretty bad. Like you could probably find better waves around here. The waves are 10 times better around here today. But I mean, pipe has this, like, it is one of the contests of the year, and it's like it has so much focus and it means so much to so many people. It just felt like it was a little bit ordinary when it should have been compared to, think about last year. I almost cried when Kelly won. I was getting chicken skin and everything. The waves are pumping, it was out of control. So anyway, that's the life of a surfer, isn't it? You never know what the waves are going to be like. You can't, Huey was just on holidays basically. Yeah.
Nah, I can't really add too much other than that. It was for pipe. It was what it was, and there was its highs and low points and some suspenses in between. It was.
I think there was definitely some great heats.
Yeah. If you had to rate it 0 to 10, where would you go for that pipe contest as a whole, as a general, not the wave conditions, but suspense wise, level of surfing. You can.
It was probably only about a 5.5 or 6.
You guys?
probably only 4 after watching Dahui, the backdoor shootout.
Yeah.
That kind of, I don't know, hard act to follow.
Yes.
So that kind of made it even worse. But I don't know. The WSL can't choose what Huey's going to throw up, so they just got to do what they can. I quite froth on watching the best surfers surf shitty waves because it's what we can relate to a little bit, but obviously we want to see it pumping as well.
You just kind of want to see them tested a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of feel like. You know that like waves of like waves of consequence.
Yeah, well, that said, to your question, Scotty, when it comes to just looking at the pure competition part of it, no matter what the conditions are like, I think it was actually like a 7 in the competition, because I'm gonna say this with all the respect and humility I can offer. Everybody can surf big pipe, pretty much in that group of people that is sitting there to surf the World Championship. So when you come to the position where you have this pristine spot and everybody has this picture in the head of, okay, it's going to be, and it is a mediocre setting, that's where you really have to shine in my eyes. And this is where really the knowledge of reading the ocean in these conditions even is much more important than on a big day, where you know you have to sit in between the second and the third reef somewhere, and so I think and what you saw with what happened on pipe and on backdoor, especially on the backdoor, dude, there was some really good surfing there.
It was cool, wasn't
it? So of course it's like the nature part of the sport is what it is, but the competition part of it I thought was really good. And we're coming back to the fantasy part, and as Tim and me predicted, it happened what we thought was going to happen.
Nice. Well, yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well there. It's the comp is what it is. You get the conditions that you are, and like, you know, it wasn't prestigious pipe like we got last year, and you saw there was so much sand in the reef as well, but it also gave it these moments, like especially like in the earlier rounds, it was pumping, it was sick, the boys and girls were getting some barrels, and then it just throughout the event it just seemed to fizzle off, and it just didn't quite grab you the same way.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there and it's like, all right, you've got 2 guys in the heat, one guy gets 1 point, the other guy gets 18, which tells me the story. There is a difference there.
I could see the people very quickly that know the waves and know which ones to pick were like outshining the people that.
And other people
lost.
are just like, where the hell am I?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm kind of thinking when you have like a heat total of both, like in some of the girls' heats, there was like a total score on both sides added together less than 5 points.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I'm kind of thinking, like, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, but that's because I think, as they also said from the commentary, they're looking for tubes. So the shit they get scored 2.5 points for, I think on another different wave where the anticipation is not tube riding, you'd scored already 5 or a 6 on it.
Yeah, but sometimes it was just also 15-minute lulls. You know what I mean? It was just with waves of pretty much poo, and the wind would pick up and it'd kind of squall and it'd wash through, and I don't know. I kind of think it's awesome when everyone gets a real fair go. There was a few of those heats where there was zero opportunity. So the girls had to create their own opportunities, which kind of, that doesn't kind of represent a pipe contest. But I totally agree with you guys as far as the competitive aspect was awesome, because it was the first time we seen all the big dogs together in the same room for ages. Like it was awesome to see Medina and you know, like
there was some
Jack
great
and John.
matchups.
Oh yeah,
It was really good.
Jarchianka, it was like awesome. So there was definitely pluses and the minuses, for sure.
Do you think they've put too much emphasis on the tube at pipe when it's small? Like, I'd rather see 2 big turns or someone huck a big air than try and
milk a
little armbar thing that they just get cut
Or,
up.
for example, remember how the Vans contest, they opened it up so that they weren't going to just score it as a traditional pipe riding contest. So all of a sudden they have all these aerialists where they're going, all of a sudden it's gone from the best tube wave to the best air wave. You know what I mean? So I reckon
it's an entertainment industry,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sick question actually, because it really felt like there was many heats where there were no tubes, and it just lacked that kind of oomph because there was nothing else really to go to. If they started going to the turns, then nothing was really getting scored for it. And they did start to, I think, towards the end, definitely when people were like finishing the sections of the waves off with like a big turn, then it was like you could easily see they were chucking another point and a half on the end of it.
There was one wave, it might have been in the final, Jack Robbo, bottom turn, went to do a turn and then thought, nah, I've got to try and get tubed.
Yeah.
And he should have done 2 big turns and probably would have put it to bed early.
Exactly.
And he probably doesn't ever think like that because he doesn't want to get a 1.5 foot.
Yeah, well, I think
tube.
it's just that thing in your head. It's when you say that word pipeline, it's like
exactly.
It's like subconscious. That's it. That's what you got to go for. That's what everyone wants. And even on the crappy days, you're still hunting for them. But yeah, it's a weird one. It would be nice to like, especially if, for example, Medina was landing those massive airs. So then I can't see why that shouldn't be in the excellent range.
Yeah, agreed.
So, any upsets that you saw there that you thought,
oh, we need to talk about the Kaio Veli scene. Like, that's sick. It's always, it just seems like it's always Zeke. It's like he just loves it. He loves to just mow people over in the water. I think it's great. Adds so much drama and suspense to everything.
I think the Catholic Church just got another 10,000 new followers in Brazil. After that,
there was some hardcore praying.
There was some hardcore praying going on the beach, man.
Not just in the beach and in the water as well, in the heat. You see it after it dropped. It was
for a few minutes, huh?
Yeah. Like he said he was crying in the water. Everything. He was going for it. And
but what happens if you're Church of Satan? That's what I want to know. Like, are you still cool?
Kaio Veli always has that showing up at the wrong moment and fucking up my team.
Yeah, I have Zeke as well, so it fucked me.
Oh
shit.
Yeah.
Should we do a little reflection on the actual fantasy? Since that'll give us more time to like throw the boot in to someone.
Let the cat out of the bag.
Shall we open up and then we can go in depth a little bit more with the contest. What do you say, Pep?
We can do that. Well, have a look at the result board, which everybody is always interested to know. Well, to my left, we have the winner, Tim. Well picked.
Thank you.
Really good. Dr. Bergan is on second. And
I think that's Anders, actually. Dr. Anders, he's my old doctor. Shout outs, Anders.
And the bomb squad is on third.
I think that's Mr. Paco Bentley on the third.
Or is it Eric?
I'll have to find out a little more.
Well, I'm the
number 4.
I am the representative of number 4.
Wow,
just
none other than Per.
Well, I'm Per.
To keep the flag waving here and have a right to be on the podcast.
Exactly. Can't believe you beat me, you bastard.
Let me see. Let me scroll down and see where you are.
Just shout out to number 5, my beautiful partner there.
Yeah, it's a family business. The fantasy family business.
That's the trick, isn't it? You got to be in pairs and more, and you got to like kind of
you level it out.
And now he's got another kid on the way, so that's going to be perfect. He's got 3 to the team. He's going to make
Can I ask you, Tim, how much of this is just like table talk at home? The fantasy team, is it quite an in-depth analysis?
Oh no, she just picks and sticks and doesn't put any effort into it and goes pretty good.
It.
And I spend hours.
And you sit up till 3 in the morning. Like,
no, I'm like thinking two heats ahead. You know, like which of my guys going to?
We've got a newborn, so we're not sleeping anyway. So we're just up watching every minute anyway.
That's
so
good. Perfect.
It's a good time to have back-to-back events on that.
We've got some good Woody on number 6. Don't know who that is.
Yeah, Woody.
And then they ate his baby with the dingoes.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Look at you boys.
You know what? I just
top
kind
10.
of
That's
all I needed is. Anyway,
all he needed is more points.
I'm just saying it's quite close with all the.
I'm pretty sure
scores.
you were top at one point.
I was on top for a while.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and actually, my chick was underneath me. It was great.
So we've got Vision Boat Riding on 8. The Ocean Walker on 9. Is that Jesus? The Ocean Walker? Jesus. And Björk? No, Björk.
Björk, number 2. That's a pair from Surfing Escape.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lille
All
pair.
right.
Yeah, awesome pair.
Shout
Yeah.
out, top 10.
And that is that's pretty much what we have of people representing on the first page of the Fantasy Surfer. I mean, the other ones who are not in the view right now, like you, Scotty, where did you end up?
Me and Eva, we thought we'll let you guys shine.
You mingle with the people.
No, we'll let you guys be in the top 10 to start with, and we'll stand more in the background, and then we'll creep our way forward. So
Okay.
me and Eva thought, do you know what? We'll let the boys have this because this is their gig, and we'll come back a bit later. We'll scratch our way up.
Let's have a look.
It's is it like golf with a handicap?
Kim Jung Rewe is on 39th place. I still haven't seen you on page 2, Scotty. Let me see. How many pages do we
There's
have?
actually
here?
4 pages of
There's 4 pages
competitors.
of...
Do you drop
Frank, so-
events?
Smurfer, 69 and number
One,
44.
I think
One. You drop one.
You drop one event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say?
No.
It's just
all
how
right.
it goes.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. It is very difficult to pick the rights. We know that.
I kind of felt, actually, I picked John as my power surfer because I couldn't, between my tier A guys, I was a little bit kind of, when I saw Medina coming up against, or they were in the same group quarter.
What,
you know what I
Medina
mean?
and Jack, or?
Well, after the elimination rounds, right, you can have a little bit of a rough look where you go into your, now that they've kind of set it up in a little bit of a different manner. So when you go in and
the
look-
reseating,
yeah, they're doing a reset. So what they do is they go, you basically...
You can check, as soon as the elimination round is done, you can see the whole setup for the rest of the comp. Basically, from round 32 onwards, you see everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do they call? They call it the what's it called? It was called the elimination and then the bracket stage.
But the bracket stage is that's everything from round 32 to the finals.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. But I
everything.
mean, once you can get a rough idea of, you see that there's 4 quarters. This is how I look at it. There's 4 quarters. So you've got the groups, 4 groups of guys. Basically, I thought to myself when I picked my team, it basically consisted of the same group, that bottom right-hand group. And I was thinking that all my guys are just going to, it's going to be friendly fire all the way, and I'm going to end up crossing my fingers that I got a guy in the semis. But so when you get to that bracket stage, it makes it a little bit easier to divide your team. I find that.
Well,
Are you backing me up, Tim?
Okay, that is what I aim for is to obviously get every person in the quarter. And the only way you can do that is if you split up your whole team. So I did this and it backfired. Even though I had Jack as my power surfer and Carissa, so I had both the winners. But for example, I had Kelly and Griffin that in the round of 32, they got knocked out with 1s and 2s. That's what they had. Kelly had a 2.43 because all your points start from round 32. So even though I had the winners and people that got quite far in, because my lowest guys got virtually 0, boom.
Or what about pinners? Collar pinners?
Yeah, that's the thing. He got 1.
He got a 1.
Look,
Yeah.
So
And
that's,
I was thinking to myself, I can't. Oh yeah, I picked him as well. I'm thinking, come on,
Yeah.
Griff Dog,
That's
Gryffindorf.
I had Leo, so I was cheering.
yeah, I can imagine. No.
When one of your tier C's knocks off a big dog, that's,
Yeah.
that's points.
No,
Yeah, and that
for
was
sure.
it's like I talked to Tim about it, how he picked and how I pick, and
Also, you guys had a little chat before the event even
no,
happened, did
no,
you?
after,
Okay.
you know.
You see this, Jaymin?
It's after.
You
It's
see this?
afterwards. Similarities
Yeah.
show themselves.
Of course.
Yeah.
So no, but because of the reseating in the round of 32, it's pretty much, and whatever score you get in the opening round and the elimination round also goes into your seating points, which makes it unpredictable to actually figure out where is somebody gonna end up just looking at the brackets.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just picked my team in the first round and kept it. The only change I did was I changed John to Jack Robinson as my power surfer. So
That was, smooth
But
move.
you know what? Out of there was so many, because you're collecting points from the actual heat scores, right? There was so many low heat scores, so that even I picked John. Wish I would have picked Jack Robbo, but believe it or not, because John when he did surf, his heat totals were so high.
It's like 19s and all this kind of stuff.
So basically, even if you didn't pick, like if you picked John, and even though he didn't win, you were still collecting
90 points or something like that?
Yeah, 91 points.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out in the quarters. Whereas even like Jack
got 120.
Jackie get 120. It's 30 points between those two is not a lot. There should be 100 points between those two, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So
well, that's what I was saying. Like,
it was a real. If you picked a guy who actually did well and actually got high heat scores, even if he got knocked out, you were getting points.
Like you see it as a direct reflection of my team, at least, and probably Evar's as well.
Yeah.
If you like, when you put Kelly on your team, you think, okay, fuck it. Even if it's 2 foot, he's still gonna do his magic and he's gonna produce something. But here, he just.
But who didn't have Kelly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that seems point. Since everybody has Kelly, it doesn't matter if he kicks out because everybody's gonna lose Kelly.
I didn't have Kelly.
Yeah.
You know?
I did, okay, like Griffin, and then for example, like Seth.
I went Yago,
Seth Manili.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I just didn't want to go against the GOAT in case he hurt me.
Yeah.
Like last year.
And Geordie, he did well. He was 37 points by the end. So Geordie, all his heat scores were above 10. So there was some cash there.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like reflecting on the women and some of their like totals. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of, for example, Tati wasn't really.
No, like Tati destroyed my team. Moana Jones Wong completely ruined my team.
Yeah.
Like she made it Wong.
She was.
She made it all Wong.
It was
Should've
Wong on
moved
so many.
Tyler White.
It was, it was Wong on so many levels. So anyway, it was an interesting. It was like an awesome way to like start off the year with the. You know, it was good to get back into the fantasy and to see if your predictions had come through because there's a lot of forethought. We all know.
And it is really tricky as well because you can score just as good on both the women and the men's side when you play this game as well. And like the chicks had it rough, really. They literally got the crappiest parts of that forecast, and in all fairness to them, they still smoked it out the bag. Like Tyler Wright was surfing insane.
Yeah.
I'm just stoked that I at least had Carissa Moore as my power surfer because that kept me in the game. If not, that was it. I was done.
And Betty Lou made the semis, I think, and she only scored 17.
Yeah.
So that's
wow. Yeah, that's
Tyler
crazy.
scored 45.
That's
And
insane.
made one more heat than her.
Do you know what? I'm pretty sure I heard on. Obviously, this is outside sources stab, but I'm pretty sure that there was records for the highest. Like lowest heat score totals to go through a round, and I think it was Betty Lou that had a total of like 4, and it's the lowest ever that someone has ever scored.
But hey, another thing too. Even though Carissa won, if you picked Tyler as your power surfer,
she probably did better.
She actually made
15 more.
She made 90 points, whereas Carissa, who won 74? The contest, only made 74.
Wow!
So like, does that ever happen? You know what I mean? So it was like. Yeah, it was like there was
it's like an American election. You can have the most votes, but you still lose.
Yeah, exactly. It feels almost like that. It's almost like
So what does that say?
If you want to feel like an American, just play Fantasy Surfer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like at the end of the day, there is surfers that flare. You know, like guys that can collect big points with their heat totals. We all know who they are. John, Medina, you know what I mean? Italo.
Well, maybe it just changes the way you need to look at this. If you see that the swell is going to get shitter and worse, then you need to just kind of recalibrate and go and think to yourself, okay, it's going to get crap. Like, how do I want to approach this? The swell isn't going to get better. It's going to get worse.
For sure.
Dude, when I picked my team, as I said, I stuck to it, and then I saw the conditions. Actually, I was pretty much okay. Kelly's out. That's too much work for Kelly.
Yeah,
that is.
It needs to be triple overhead.
It needs to be triple overhead, and he just has to whoosh in, And
I know it was like Yago was just chipping away, like just like one grain of sand at a time.
Yeah.
And by the end, it was just enough against, Kelly. I mean, at any moment, one wave wins the heat either way. And in that way, I found it exciting because it all came down to one way. Even the Jack Robbo.
Dude.
One wave. That's all it was.
And it was back and forth.
4 minutes to go. I was sitting there going, I've got P here. Got him. And then realised, You don't count out Jack Robinson. And I think
Not
we're going
at
to
all.
learn that. And people who don't pick him this year are going to learn the hard way.
I had mixed feelings. I was watching that live with my missus, and I was like, I had Jack and John on my team, but I had Jack as my power surfer because I didn't change it. I just left it. And then, like, I seen how John was surfing, and you're like, fuck, okay, he's at home, he's doing his thing. Like, please let him win. Like, even though I have Jack, and then Jack started coming back, and I was like, do you know what? The points are good. The points are good. Let's go on, Jack. You get like mixed heat decisions. She was like, "Who are you rooting for here? You're just
That's the worst.
Exactly. Jack and Jill went up there. Yeah.
just
It's the worst thing about fantasy. You can have like Jow in your team and he's coming up against one of my Aussie boys who I love, and
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
going for the Brazo, just knock him out for
Yeah,
points.
Yeah, no.
exactly. I know. You almost feel dirty sometimes,
It
the
is.
teams you pick, don't you?
Yeah.
Ugh. Hey,
I don't like him, but I'm going to put him on my team anyway.
yeah, exactly.
If you pick with your heart, you're not going to get far.
Nah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hey,
Unless when it comes to Italo Ferreira. I don't like him when I pick him, and it works out.
It
for me.
works. It works out just fine.
hey. Speaking of the Connors, how about we go over and we start having a little rundown of the heats? I think we've had a good enough analysis of the fantasies.
Fancy, yeah.
I
Top
think
10
we've covered
people.
it good.
you
But
know.
I guess it was kind of like I kind of get a feeling like it gave me enough insight to kind of get my Sunset team in my head.
Yeah.
And I kind of think to myself now that like because of the guys where they ended up in the rankings or the placement, it completely blows out the tier from what it was in the first round because you know when you got John, Gabriel, and in the tier B, it's not often you can actually pick those guys all in your one team.
Yeah.
Usually they're all in that top
Exactly.
A, and so it was cool because it kind of felt like you had a freaking powerful team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was guys in.
Well, you could have like Jow as your like tier C, and then you got like
And he's
Kelly.
still getting in the finals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
easy, you know. And then you have like tier exactly like you're saying. You got people like John, you got Kelly, you got Seth, and then in your tier A you had. It was good. It was a really good mix up.
Yeah, because how often are they all together and you have to decide between one or the other? It happens with the girls all the time. If you're a Carissa Tyler fan or a Steph, you're kind of thinking you only get a chance to pick one. And you're just thinking, oh my, like, how do that's hard
it's
to
not
pick
easy.
that because if you don't pick the right one, you know for a fact that the other one's going to make the finals, and and if you pick the right one, you're going to win.
You don't have much choices. It's
The
like
coin.
A, B, or C, and that's it. And you got to wear that on your chest and hope for the best.
Yeah,
Easy like 1, 2, 3. Well, that's how it is. But
Pez the expert. By the way.
we could just go and the opening round is set for Sunset Beach.
Oh, you want to jump back to Sunset? Okay. Or forward to Sunset. even.
Well,
He wants to talk about.
Oh, sorry.
I was just thinking, like, I was just kind of felt it was just cool to maybe ask what you guys thought who the standouts were, even or who the surprise upsets were. I was going to say, I just wanted to mention the little Indo Rio Wider.
Well, there's no upsets at Tim's.
No,
Tim
Tim's
is not upset
Tim's
at all.
top on the list. He doesn't care what you think, Jaymin.
The upsets.
Nothing upset us because we predicted the right outcome. So, what was upsetting you? Tim?
What's upsetting
Just
you,
kidding.
Jaymin?
No, I just said upsets as far as
Yeah.
like guys
Yeah.
that actually,
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
because it was we'd never really seen Rio in a
Yeah, I was stoked for him.
Mate, so was I. He did he charged, and I was like shocked that he surfed like a man. You know what I mean?
First Indo on tour, heaps of pressure.
Yeah.
So young.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of people behind it.
So mellow as well, actually.
Yeah.
It's that Imlo vibe.
Also, too, I felt like Zhao Shianka was a huge standout, but we all knew kind of Zhao had it, so it was like cool to see him actually be able to kick a goal finally. You know what I mean?
really wanted him and John in the final.
I know you actually. I was thinking to myself that
calling
could have
it.
actually happened.
They just ended up on the wrong side.
if he
I
would've
only
beat Jack
chose
Robert.
him because you were really insisting on that. This is all you wanted. I was like, yeah, man, he's on something.
But
Yeah.
Zhao is like, he's a freak.
I
eh?
should have listened to you.
Yeah,
I
like,
took
but
him out.
I don't know. He just like him and his brother. They're just like, especially if you follow them a little bit on Instagram and stuff. They're mutants. These guys are like freaks, and they're like.
Animals.
The way I look at it is he's the same caliber and kind of the personality as John, like really, really mellow, but then has that like beast mode inside where when it just switches on, it's
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
man.
he's got. We're gonna be talking about him a lot this year.
lightning fast.
Liam O'Brien, Lobby.
Yeah.
He did so good. And I mean, if anyone would have picked Liam to get that far, they did really well because he surfed against last year's second place getter Seth. And heard Seth in his commentary after the little interview they had with him, and he was just going, mate, that guy's like a silent killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hasn't got. When you look at him, he looks like. Golly Walker. He's got a mad afro. He's like a nerd, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just awesome to see how he just turns into that animal when he gets in the water.
If I'm honest, I don't know much about him. I don't think I've paid too much attention to him really either because we didn't really get to see a chance for him to surf last year.
know.
And then I don't know, with that in the back of your head, you don't jump to, okay, Liam O'Brien's the guy that's going to go out there and kill it. But exactly what you said, when I watched that interview with Seth, and Seth just like saying, dude, this kid's out here no matter what day it is, shit, rain, sunshine, whatever it is, he's out there. And he actually rips.
He surfs at South Straddie a lot.
Yeah.
And that's like a really heavy beach break. So once I saw Backdoor started, I thought he could do pretty good.
Yeah. Of course, Leo as well. I mean, who would have picked him to make it to the final?
These guys.
We did.
I'm pretty
Besides,
sure.
I did swap in for Jao, so it wasn't that much different, really.
Ooh, interesting.
It only
swap
made
there.
one more heat, so.
Yeah.
I had Sieg Lau and I changed him for Gianca and I had for Fioranti.
so Leo was in Tier C. Okay.
Yeah, and I kept the faith on him. I saw him in a couple of interviews and shit he did in the winter time, and he's a fucking machine, man.
Yeah, he's
an animal.
But he was the only one to make it through. Was actually in the elimination round, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
he was
came
in-
from. Yeah, I think that's what turned me off a little bit. I actually went.
Yeah, because I was sitting. I had the heat 12 in the opening round was Medina, John, and Fioranti, and I had all three on my team, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Two of them are going to go to round 32, and whoever goes to the elimination of these three is going to win the elimination, and it's going to go on. That was my train of thought there.
Well, also, like, when we saw the brackets come up, it was Griffin against Leo. So when you look at that, and you know that Leo lives out there now, and he's put time in, and he knows how that spot works. But then Griffin is just out there just as much, if not more, and a bit more on the.
Griff got a third. Was it second or third place in the Vans?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was second.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so he's a standout at pipe. He's surfed pipe for years, and he's actually really good at pipe. So
I'm still mind blown that he's gone out with a 1, in the round of 32.
I went pretty deep on that one. I thought Leo just lost quickie. Griffin got all his money.
Yeah.
Leo's going to be pissed and he's going to go and smoke him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a great train of thought, actually.
We often don't think outside the box, but like that kind
Well,
of.
if that's not
you know what?
motivation,
I'm kind of thinking to myself, it was just a fuck you to Quicksilver, wasn't it? Really, Leo's just going, you guys put your money on the wrong horse.
Yeah.
I don't think Leo's struggling either. But
Mate,
No, not at all, for sure.
No.
You know what? I personally think there's never been a year where you can have. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Rio Wider wins an event this year, or for example, Callum. It's I kind of feel like, or Yago, or you know what I mean. I just kind of feel like it's not all about the top dogs anymore.
No,
We have so
it's
much.
leveling out.
It's leveling out. Zhao almost won. I'm sure he's going to win an event this year.
And it's the same in the chicks as well. I think it's both sides. I think we look at last year with how many kind of dark horses won events. It was super random, and the same with the girls. And now in that Sophie McCulloch, qualifying last minute on the from the CS and stuff. So
Well, remember, actually, sorry, but last year, remember, there was only all the old dogs were actually at the bottom of the draw, especially with the girls. It was completely flipped.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So I think that we're so cling to those people we love because we have our personal preferences. You grew up, they're from the same country, whatever, but there is so many next generation kids that are coming up, and they're so unheard of, but they don't give a crap. They're just so hungry.
I reckon Molly Picklum could be a smoky for a big result.
But she was on the tour last year and then dropped off. I think she's got good experience, and I think having people like Caitlin Simmers and people on there still, the younger that's going to get them so pumped and to push them really hard.
Yeah. Agree.
No, for sure.
I was a bit surprised that Igarashi didn't actually make it further than.
You know what?
He's always somewhere in the quarters, semis.
You're right, Pat. You're right. He is.
And the
it's his bread and
conditions.
butter.
The conditions actually, I thought, were good for him. Because he's good at surfing everything pretty much.
Yeah.
And so
He's a freak.
But he looked, I don't know, he did look a little bit like ordinary compared to previous years. He didn't seem to have the extra.
The X
that
factor.
or like he was actually, he fell off a couple of times. It was like, wasn't really usually him. But what about Italo going out in the first round against Ian, the Gentile?
Yeah, that was great.
That was unexpected. But
I know.
unreal at the same time.
It was, because I was thinking to myself, I didn't even think of him with my picks.
Yeah.
But he could be a guy that he could win.
I had him on my team.
Did you?
Because he was in
Nice.
that top bracket, and then I was just like, a bit what Per was saying, fuck you, Italo, I don't give a fuck, come on, Ian Gentile,
Yeah,
local boy.
yeah.
Like,
Nice.
obviously from Maui, I was like, let's do this. Because he was in the first 4 in the bracket. So I thought, okay, do you know what? Let's go out on a limb. He's tier C. And then I had him and Yao. And then I was considering Leo, but then I think he was coming up against Griffin. So I thought, nah, fuck, I need to go with
You
Griffin.
should get
then.
more points if you're doing a low percentage.
Yeah.
Like
underdogs.
0.5% would have had him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even if you win, you should get a bonus because just in that situation with the girls, if you picked Tyler, you get more points, but she didn't, you know what I mean? She didn't win.
Exactly.
So there should be some more incentive there to actually get that.
But now overall, it was sick around the 32, and I'm pretty sure that aspects of the round of 16 were highlightable as well. But it wasn't until like the big dog started like hitting up a bit, and you could see that the level was poof. Then it just got stepped up, even if the waves were going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So then everybody's sitting with a good gut feeling about picking their teams for Sunset coming up in 2 days.
Yeah.
We can have a quick run through the opening rounds of the boys and the girls.
Have you guys made your teams yet?
I've made my team while I was just sitting here waiting for you guys to show up.
Okay.
I did the
So
same.
I have
You
no
did this
problem.
morning,
I have
okay.
no problem sharing it.
Okay. Jaymin, you've made your team?
Mate, no, I haven't even.
No, okay.
Haven't even considered actually putting a team in.
No.
But the ladies, they're starting out in Heat 1 with Taddy, Molly Picklum, and Teresa Bonvalor. What do you reckon there?
That is actually
Pickles.
quite...
Molly.
Yeah.
I think it could be tricky because that Teresa, she rips.
Yeah,
She
Tati does as well.
I know.
Let's base these picks on 6 to 8 foot sunset.
Oof.
A little bit bumpy.
It's gonna be probably like more like 4 to 6 foot.
Okay, well let's base these calls on 4 to 6 foot, right? So
Pretty hard being a goofy out there, I reckon.
yeah,
Pretty hard being a goofy in general. But
I definitely agree with you with that one. It's hard to say, because Tati
then-
has those
But Tati's a
massive...
weapon
She's
when
got
it's big.
massive legs, and she
Yeah.
could just hammer the hell out of that thing. So
Dude, what Tati did down in J-Way last year, that doesn't matter
True.
if she's goofy or regular on that.
nah, I reckon she'll win. I just my heart's with Pickles, but Tati will probably smoke.
yeah, Tati, I think...
well, you know what? I kind of feel like this is pre-elimination round, right, Pat? So it'll be whoever's having a dig, I reckon. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I have no problems sharing whatever I'm just picking here. I picked Tati and Molly in that, and it's all right because 2 are going on anyway, and so they can share whoever wins the. I don't give a shit about that.
Because will they... I can't need to look at the seeding again, but
They can
will
just
they
scissor
end
each
up-
other.
But
Is
will
that what
they,
you're trying to say, Pat?
It's going to be reseated, so it's for me. It's not to.
No, that's what I'm going to say.
I don't have not the ability that you guys have to see out of that opening round where somebody's going to get seated in round of 32 with a reseating.
I like the way they've gone back to seeding.
Yeah, definitely.
Same.
I think
it
it's
gives
good.
incentive for that lower seed to crack it, and
Yeah.
I think that's
it
why.
can change the whole year.
Dude, that's why Zhao didn't do, because he was seeded against John the whole season. That's
Yeah.
why he struggled to.
And you can't get out of that.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. You're locked in.
And look at it now, changed within like the first
Yeah.
first comp, and
Yeah.
it makes that
Yeah.
much difference. He's
Yeah.
making, what was it, semis, quarters?
And I think Seth made the cut last year by getting second at pipe and didn't make another heat. So
Yeah.
If you get around that points, you're on for a year and the next year.
Yeah.
So it's huge. Like Leo.
Yeah.
You get a second chance, really, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Who you throwing in the next?
He too gets Steph, Isabella Nichols, and Zoe McDougall. I don't know anything about Zoe, except she's from Hawaii and she's a
She's a
regular.
local girl there. I
You know,
think.
Yeah.
we're
We gotta
talking
go
fo-
for
we gotta-
locals.
I think she's a
McDougall.
wild
You
card.
think
eh?
so? Well, dude, we're talking 4 to 6 foot right-handers. Backing Steph all the way.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
her. That's her. You know, if it was a left, I would be a little bit less, but she's good out there.
She needs to make some heats, eh? She got
Yeah.
eliminated, so
Yeah,
throw away
exactly.
straight away.
Definitely.
So I was thinking there's going to be some knee-jerk reactions to those people that
But she
knocked
missed.
out
She
in the
missed
first
pipe
round.
last year anyway, so
She did.
nothing new for her.
No.
Still came through and
Yeah, exactly.
won it. Yeah.
Let's have a look. We've got Carissa and Caroline and Luana Silva in the Heat 3.
I think we're gonna have to give it to more this one.
Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah.
difficult not to
You
pick
know what?
Chris.
Not to take anything away from Caroline though, because she's going to upset this year. Believe me, when she gets, she's an amazing surfer. She's
Yeah,
such
she
a good,
is.
You know, so I'm surprised to see there's 84% to Carissa on this and only 9% to Caroline, because I really think she has a lot higher percentage as far as people have picked her to actually make
I
the.
was thinking before that when you were talking about Tutty, she probably had the best backside hack, but then Caroline on the day, like a J-Bay and all those sort of spots, is probably
Yeah.
par
Brings-
or even better. I
It's,
reckon.
it's almost like that's her whole style is she loads up on her back foot.
Yeah.
Like on her like backside, and then she kind of like she just repels herself from, like some people have this. I kind of feel like have this ability to be able to do that. It's almost like it's a little bit sometimes. It mightn't be the most stylish type of setup, but when they actually release and like hook them in the lip, like spray for days. Wiggly Duntos was similar to the same. He just
Timing.
managed to have this like it was like a slingshot.
Yeah.
I think Tutty. Tutty's got it, but Caroline has it even more, where
Yeah.
she just loads up on a backhand, and it's almost like she's constantly. It's like a trigger she's waiting to pull. You know what I mean?
Spring loaded.
Spring loaded. I don't get
Oki-esque.
Oki-esque.
Put your bum out, spray goes everywhere.
But she doesn't really do it as much on a forehand. It just always seems like Tardy is the same. She kind of loads up on a backhand and then just waits and waits and waits and then just like tries to crack it.
It's about that thing about you're able to like drop lower though on your backhand, aren't you? You're able to really like compress on a much different level when you're
For
going to go
sure.
up, and like those girls' legs are like
Yeah.
Surf
thicker
way
than my
more
head.
vertical on your
Yeah.
backhand.
Yeah,
I reckon it's easier to get points on your backhand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
Especially when the waves are maybe a little bit iffy, and there are some steep sections.
You try and do a variety of forehand turns, so you get after 3, there's none left.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
no,
slop.
exactly.
With your backhand, everything can vary a little
Exactly.
All right, and then last heat is Briza Hennessy and Courtney Conlogue, Sally Fitzgibbons.
bit. That isn't the last one. That's the fourth one. The
Is
sixth.
it, oh, sorry, it's the fourth one. Yeah.
Keep scrolling. But
But yeah.
I reckon
Brisa.
this is a hard one.
Brisa won last year.
Yeah, that's it. You know, but Courtney was at pipe. She almost took. I see there as a change in Courtney this year too. She
She's
is really
charging.
lucky, like not to beat Tyler at pipe. So
I had her on my team.
yeah, she's
Nice.
got
Yeah.
she's definitely got some spark this year. I kind of think she was
I just
really
thought
impressed.
after Chopes, I was like, all right, she's
Yeah.
on. She
Yeah.
wants this. She's hungry. She'll
If
put into anything.
Sunset's big and bumpy, like she surfs bells really well too. She's
Yeah.
a bit of a weapon in big stuff.
Sal?
So,
Not Al Sal.
Courtney.
Yeah, can't Sal.
Can't
Yeah,
Sal.
can't Sal. We all want Sal to get up there, but I think you got to statistically you got to go with Brisa, don't you? As a winner last year, and you know, like
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah, condition, if it's clean, Brisa's probably the pick, I reckon.
yeah. Wow, look at Heat 5. That's a doozy.
Tyler Wright, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, and Caitlin Simmers. That's the old queen versus the
The new ones.
youngins.
I think those two. She's just gonna like.
Gobble them up.
Yeah.
They'll be scissored to death. Those two. I think they were probably the two biggest standouts, up and coming girls. But
Yeah.
Tyler just looked so strong that like at pipe. She looked like she was.
She's old muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
and I just kind of feel like even though Caitlin and Betty Lou are the new school, I just feel any other location maybe would make a difference, but at Sunset, you need to have
muscle.
You need to have some
You have to wait.
solid looking pegs
Yeah.
to drive through those turns.
Plus 50 kilos.
Plus 50
As
kilos.
long as she puts away that layback, I'm pretty. That thing's, if her coach tells her to put that away, just do big open face.
She's just going to do them on repeat. Just watch, just one after another.
Yeah, no, but she looked strong. She looked really good.
Betty Lou also.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like,
If it's a bit smaller, she picks those inside ones and smashes
I'm thinking
them.
that Caitlin is like, she's such a technical surfer, but she's not, she's still 17, she's still a kid, so she hasn't, I don't know what size she is going to be, but like compared to Tyler can like put buckets away. Yeah, she just surfs it on a different level. But Betty Lou, like being from around there and stuff as well, she, like, I think she can still bring it. Like she just showed that she's actually pretty technical in the barrel as well. So that's pretty cool.
Her and
to see.
Carissa are getting a little rivalry going on.
Yeah,
too, so
sure.
it's cool to watch.
It's sick.
Where at Sunset, it's not really an advantage to be an aerial type surfer. It's
No.
more about carves and turns. So
sure.
it's really going to, you're kind of going to weed out the I think it's
Section surfers.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's an open canvas. You get to see who's actually can
Well, it's like it's rail game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Charge on their rail, basically.
I think it's a possibility that the conditions are. You will have some bigger ones coming out in the back, but you will also have a lot
But
of.
only John and Jack will get barreled in those.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay.
There's no one else.
We heard it here first.
Live.
Last heat: Lakey Peterson, Gabriella Bryan, and Marcy Callan.
I'm going the Hawaiian there. Gabby.
Yeah,
She's
same.
a powerhouse.
Definitely.
All right. So this is our first impressions on the opening round of the ladies. The boys. Sunset's going to be interesting. Kanoe Igarashi, Matthew McGillivray, and Michael Rodriguez in the heat one.
I don't really feel like I saw Matty McGillivray in the last comp. Like, what happened to him?
Was he in it?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he went out and went in again.
Did he have he didn't have an injury replacement, did he?
No.
No?
He was there.
He was
I
there.
believe he
Yeah.
got knocked out in the elimination
Maybe
round.
he was snoozing in his car.
Yeah, I think he got knocked out the elimination round.
Maybe he drank the wrong bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, and here I can see Kanoa taking the heat.
Yeah.
Why not? We'll give it to Kanoe.
And Michael and Matthew is going to go through the loser round, as they call it.
I'm already looking at round two.
With
Yeah,
these two.
the boys are back. It's
Kyle and Zeke again.
It's on again. He too, Coyote Belly, Baron Mamaya, and Easy Lau.
Baron's going to be sat in the middle like a little school kid going,
Baron combos him and the other two getting interference on
Yeah,
each
can
other.
you imagine
Yeah.
that?
You know what? That is pretty awesome heat though. All those guys
Yeah.
are rail surfers
It's
and they
scrappy.
all charge in big waves and they're all scrappy.
Scrappy as
They're
hell.
happy to like rub up their competitors as much as possible.
I'd
Like,
love to see the betting odds on that.
what do
Yeah.
you, dude? That's a hard. I mean, I'm
kind
thinking
of even, wouldn't it?
It would be really. I mean, Zeke. I'm thinking Zeke at Sunset is a good match. Zeke rips at Sunset.
The thing is, Baron won it last year.
There you go.
So this is...
And now you're looking at
Depends
and-
if Kaya wears his white wetsuit or
Yeah.
not.
exactly. Kaio's best up and comer.
I don't know, Kyle could be praying for the last 2 days, which will like...
Seriously, these are 3 picks you should have on your team for the whole event.
Oh, definitely.
They
If they don't kill each other.
Yeah.
they
Anyway.
just have to make it through one round.
I can't
leaning.
pick one.
I'm leaning Baron. He won last year, and those other two will be, having like doing the paddle battles and Baron will just be pulling and getting barreled.
It is good to watch though.
So good.
Yeah, it's sick.
My
I like
God,
the
this in
heats like that.
between. Did Kaio get his Jesus free card in the last event, or will he be able to summon the gods one more time?
Tune in next time to find out.
Nice bridge.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that Kaio Belly somehow fucking sneaks in the last 10 seconds before the buzzer. He gets into one, and it's gonna be exactly 0.1 point enough to make it through.
Kaio's in a good place, but Baron will win.
Yeah.
I don't think I can really choose out of this. I think it's just going to be fun to watch it.
Yeah.
Even if, like what Tim was saying, even if this is 1 foot, this is still going to be one of the
Yeah.
sickest heats to watch because
Yeah.
you know there's going to be so much action.
A bit old school.
Yeah, I love it.
Heat 3. Ethan, Ned Young, and Carlos Munoz. That's for
gonna
me.
be
That's an Ethan heat.
surf porn watching Ethan out there.
Of course it is. Ethan at sunset, easy. Like,
You don't reckon Munoz can bring some
mate,
buckets to the game?
some pure vida. You know, I'm kind of.
He probably ends up second in that heat.
Yeah, Nat Young is amazing on his backhand though. He's used to surfing right-handers, so he's a dark horse all year. All year, Nat Young, dark horse all year. Carlos is. I kind of feel like Carlos is a little bit more hot and cold.
Yeah, definitely.
Ethan's definitely the man this year. But I'm kind of just thinking, as the contest plays out, like Carlos is very good in heavy, big right-handers as well. So yeah, that's going to be awesome.
We were in Indo this year, and Ethan, Seth, and Griffin were shooting trilogy.
No way.
With a wave close to where we were living, like an open right-hander, and Ethan made them look like boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be my Powery for sunset.
That's so sick.
That's so cool.
You heard it here first. Tim's chucking him as his power surfer. Get on it, folks.
I mean, that's not a
It's
bad call.
it's not a dark horse, but
No.
I think.
Oh, man,
I mean,
dude.
him and John
Yeah.
and Jack, and
Like,
I think they got the magic out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. When you want to break down rail game, like, no offense, but Ethan is like the shit. You can't get more bread and butter.
Better than John.
Ooh, that's a hard claim. That's hard. I guess it's a bit down
It's
to person.
different, isn't
It's
it?
very different.
You
It's
got,
really
like,
different.
One's clean and everything's perfect, and the other one's just raw power and grit. And
Yeah, more
I don't
snowboard
know.
style.
Exactly.
It's hard to
yeah.
say. It's
Yeah.
really hard to say, but I'd have to say that if you're going to put it down to like who your favorite top rail surfers are, those two easily.
Yeah, no one's touching them.
I think in between them, it's the condition. If it's super clean, then Ethan's gonna win. If it's a bit choppy, then John's gonna take it away in my books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But next heat, Mr. Red Bull, Seth Moniz, and Keanu Singh. Mr. Red Bull, yeah, of course, Italo Ferrari.
Mr. Ferrari. It's hard. I like Keanu is he's a pretty big built guy, and he's from out there as well, so he can probably I don't know, Seth fucking rips as
The
well.
Moniz family is
Is Keanu a wild card?
Yeah.
He's got to be.
Or he's either an injury replacement or a wild
he's
card.
an injury replacement.
You know, Eli Hanneman and Kai Lenny are the.
I like when they give them to the younger guys. Like Keanu's been around forever, and we've kind of seen it.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
No, big-
Rips and deserves to be there,
But I think
you know,
he was the highest placed Hawaiian,
Hawaiian,
in,
that's
in
good
the
then.
Challenger Series.
Okay.
So
That's-
he
earned it.
he earned his points, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
He
good.
wasn't just using that Hawaiian bravado macho, just kind of walked up into the tents and was like, boys.
Well, they used to get like 30 wild cards into it, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I can see Italo's going to win that heat here. Just because he's Italo, and then he's going to strike out somewhere in the round of 32.
Big claims. Okay, we like that.
All right. Moving on.
That's mine. And heat 5, Jack Robinson, Jake Marshall, and Eli Hanneman.
Jake Marshall for sure. No.
No.
Well, that's the thing. Like he does,
Eli.
like he rips
done
for
good
a
at
kid.
open rights.
Yeah, he rips, but he's not someone that like grabs me. Like he doesn't do the craziest and most radical stuff, but he has an amazing style, a really good surfer. But it's not. I don't know. I just never think to put him on my team.
He's
you know
unassuming
what I mean?
though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of think some guys just kind of manage to cruise under the radar, and he's one of them. And yeah, so
We got to be Jack.
The
Yeah.
Jack's
Yeah,
getting the
his
points.
favourite.
All right, heat 6. Felipe, we call him Phil. What was it? Yeah, Phil Toledo,
yeah.
Liam O'Brien, and Kai Lenny. Pair, who's your pick?
I'm still putting my finger on Felipe.
Who's going to do the most rotations on the wave? Is it Kai Lenny or is it Philippe Toledo?
Nah, Kai Lenny.
Kai Lenny strapped in.
Kai Lenny
Yeah.
is fun to watch in his
He's
free
strapped
surf and stuff and big wave stuff. But
Is Kai Lenny, is he getting towed into these waves in this
Can you
heat?
imagine if he was just like, do you know what, boys? I'm just going to bring the ski out. I don't really care what you think. I'm just going to do toe-ins.
Yeah.
And he's doing is
Dude,
like,
you have to.
with lead.
You should actually check if it's in the rules that you cannot be towed in a wave. If it says anywhere in the rule book,
doesn't say it, then you can go for it, eh?
exactly.
Well, they just had to implement that at snappers with the the electric bikes, because like the guys were getting the bikes up and down and from like past the greenies and all that. Like,
They were getting
yeah,
back to the point faster.
it was Sierra Kerr and Mitch Parkinson,
Yeah.
Joel Parkinson's cousin.
Yeah.
Like they were taking those Super 73s all the way down past, like almost down past like Greeny, like Bush, and like all the way up to the rock again. It was
That's
hilarious.
mad. That's mad.
So the next day they put in like no electric bikes.
Yeah, Kyle Lenny is not a competition surfer in my book.
You know who Liam's going to ruffle some feathers though. He's
Yeah, why
keep an
not?
eye on him, especially the big right hand wave.
Yeah.
He's happy to charge, and he'll have a dig.
I think Philippe and Liam are going to go on, and then Kai is going to do a round in the elimination.
Yeah.
Next heat is Miguel Pupo, Kelly Slater, and Maxime Who's Not.
Who's not in the competition?
Who's not? Who's in? Who's not? Who's not?
And Maxime, you'd be surprised. He'll charge out at sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and we all know the goat hates sunset,
Definitely.
so he's happy to sell you. It's almost like I'm a little bit kind of thinking to myself, is he kind of using that as a under the radar trick this year? Because Kelly could quite easily
If he rides
finally win sunset. You know what I mean?
if he gets on a normal board,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like with a bit more rail like he used to,
And not all this weird
he could,
crap that he's
he
wearing.
could surprise everyone out there.
Yeah. But
That's
Poops
someone who could
also
find a tube too at sunset.
Poops could surf out there. Poops could do really well on his backhand as well.
I think Pupo's going to win this heat, actually.
It's not a heat that ruffles my feathers, so I don't really care who goes through.
Next heat, that's a good one. Hi.
The Triple J.
Ooh.
Heat 8. John Florence, Johan Gianca, and Jackson Baker.
That could almost be
Don't-
like a
Don't sleep on the
semi-final.
red moustache.
No.
I reckon Jacko's got some power.
Oh,
sure.
he's built like a
If
bricklayer,
he's going to go good
isn't
in
he?
any events, it's these ones.
This looks like my
Carnival Strongman.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, exactly. He's got all the strength in the world.
This looks like the heat pick I had last in Pipeline. Because I'm going to have all three of them probably in my teams.
Yeah, all heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And they're all going to make it through to the round of 32 at the end of the day.
Yeah. Even if they're in the same heat.
Even if they're in the same
both
heat.
of them are going through anyway.
Two of them are going through. One's got to go elimination round.
Yeah, and win
Oh, no.
it. And win it.
No. No, like, okay, sorry.
Whoever's
we
on
just-
Pear's team just gets an
Gets
instant, it's automatically straight through.
Wait.
Excuse me, you get.
I don't know.
He gets
if
the keys of the kingdom thanks to Pear.
Oh, sorry, you haven't been watching the news.
Oh, yeah.
The German tanks are rolling again, so we are back again.
All right.
Back.
Do you reckon Griff's going to bounce back? Heat 9 coming up.
Yeah, I think he's going to...
Pinners, Pupo, Gentiles.
Did you see his Instagram? He said how he was all in his head and
Yeah.
got a bit too overwhelmed. So
Well,
Wow.
he's
be interesting to see how he comes back.
Well, he's very open with everything that he goes through, isn't he?
You
He's
forget
not...
how young they are too. Like
It's just
his
a weak
kids
ass
are,
fucking excuse in my book.
Was
I
it
don't know,
23?
23,
Yeah,
and they
23.
got all this pressure. Like
Totally.
it's pretty wild.
The classic with
I've
this.
been to war when I was 23. What the fuck are you talking about? He's surfing. The fucking pressure he's all about. Fuck
Listen
off.
to you.
Yeah,
Traveling
listen-
the world around, living in the fucking sickest houses. Pressure. Bullshit. Nah.
He's got pressure from his sponsors and his
Pressure-
expectation pressure.
Just putting pressure on yourself.
Exactly. You know
It's,
what?
it's a strange situation that your employers have fucking wishes for you to do something for the money you're
That
getting.
you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Hey, but
There's two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
There's two sides of the coin.
Sammy
But still
Pupo's
a
a little
coin.
bit of an upset here too. 'cause
it's still coin, mate.
he got the
always
quarters a couple of years ago at Sunset. Remember? Sammy did really well.
It's good.
Yeah. So I think he's going to bounce back a little bit.
And
but-
Scotty's boy.
Yeah, but you got to give the points to Griff Dog, I think, for this win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's hard to say because
I see Ian Gentile actually getting there. I have what he did at in the last contest.
The pipe,
was
yeah.
really good, and I think he's on a stoke.
He's probably served more events there, just guessing, than
Yeah.
the other two
Yeah,
who's
definitely.
been competing in.
he's got that
For so
lanky frame as well. So like
Yeah.
I could see how that could suit
That-
someone out there,
at
especially
8.
if it's 4 to 6 foot.
Mm.
Oh, he's back.
All right. What about
Ooh,
how are we looking? Heat 10 for the picks?
The door is opening, and the master of the dungeon is entering. Oh my God, Ivar is here. Do not talk too loud. By the way, shout out to Ivar and for having
His lovely daughter.
his daughter's first birthday. It's been a year, boys. I can't believe
1
it.
year. Fantastic. Let's give him a round of applause. Nice one.
You've been waiting all day to say that, Jaymin, haven't you? You were so excited.
I even had my
What did you have?
I had an alarm.
It was
Do not forget this one.
It was actually I'd given myself a message written on my hand. Please say.
Do that. Heat 10. Callum Robson, Yago Dora, and Rio Vaida.
I'll probably be going Callum there.
He was regular, wasn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He
Big boy, big bum, big legs.
Yeah, he that's the crazy thing about him. He doesn't
for sure.
he doesn't look like a big kid, but like when you
Ex-rugby
actually
player.
when you look at him
He's
up in his
massive, mate.
post interviews, he's actually built like he's a frame and a half.
He's an Aussie redneck. We love him, and he's going to do really well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go the Bogans.
Yeah.
Go the Bogans.
Yeah, if there's a bit of
From Evans Head, just a
right.
lazy, like it's pretty much like Foster, just further up the coast.
Lazy
It
bludger.
is. It's even smaller, I think.
if it's a bit choppy there, I see Rio Vaida is going to be like a little RC surfer on just bopping around on just getting bopped around on the chop and not really know where it's going.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Sunset, I have a bit of feeling it's gonna be like home for the Brazilians. It reminds me a lot of Saquarema. I have a strong hunch that Yago Dora and Gianca, they're gonna do real well at Sunset. Just because it's usually not super clean at Sunset, a bit ruffled on the face, a bit bumpy here and there, and I think that puts them a little bit back to
Bit
the
of
home
backwash.
grounds.
I reckon
The backwash.
it really falls on the conditions on the day will have a huge say. Heat 11. What do we got? Jordy Smith, Leonardo Friavance, Kalohe Andino. Siva. Well, the money's it's got to be split between Leonardo and Jordy. You know, but I think Leo's definitely on a bit of a roll. So it's going to be a tight heat for sure. And I mean, you can never count out Kalohe.
Brother.
So there is that'll be a good heat.
I reckon Kalohe might not make the cut this year.
Nah, I don't think he will.
No.
It's just, I don't know.
But and that's the cool thing about him is he has like one of the most sickest styles, but I feel like he just never executes it. It just like, it always seems like he's just a bit behind, bit this, bit that, just not on it.
Honestly, with him, I think once he became a dad, he got a little bit more restrictive in what he's putting into and what he's dropping in on. Because Kalohe, before he became a dad, he was charging hard. He had some sick tube rides going on and everything. And I have a feeling that since then he's got a little bit more...
It doesn't really have the
more reserved.
Doesn't have the Chianca charge.
Not really.
Rajal's got the charge. You know, he's
I'm a new dad and I pulled back on heaps today. So
you got so barrel today, Tim. Shut up.
See, there you go. You feel it yourself. Man.
But I reckon he's been on tour for so long. If you're not spicing it up, like he rips, if he just came on tour and they'd never seen him before,
Yeah.
they're going to love it.
I guess it's a
just
big
hard.
part of it as well. Like you just said, you've seen him for a while.
He's been under a microscope for so long.
Yeah.
You know, it must be hard to kind of like
and especially like
reinvent yourself.
especially if you've been as well, like training the hot upcoming surfers like Griffin and the boys from down there as well, and then you see these guys going out and actually winning, because I don't think Kalohe's ever won a CT event. Imagine that Griffin comes off and just fucking smashes 2 out last year, and you're just like,
Kalohe had to carry him up the beach.
But it was like, but it was cool at the same time, and I guess you can really pick at someone's mind whether that actually affects them or actually they're there for like the pure stoke. But I'm guessing it's a mixed emotion of both, really.
He doesn't look as hungry though as normal.
No, I don't think so. He's but I have my finger on Leonardo as well. He's super hungry. Last heat, Gabe, Conor Leary and Ryan Cullinan.
Like all the best goofies in one go.
Exactly. Ryan actually surfed really well at Pipe. He was, you know, and he's unreal at Sunset. Connor the same. And Gab, you probably put 3 of the most surfers that are closest styles and, you know, all being goofies together in the one heat. That's rad.
Connor's weapons is big backside whack as well.
Yeah, he's got that flick, isn't he, too? He's got the slingshot.
It's
got to go on.
Awesome heat to watch.
Yeah, but Gabby's got to probably...
Gabby can do anything he wants if he just wants to do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much... I have the feeling with Gab, these, like, the last half year because he kind of stumbled into the whole thing last year. He just got the license to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, nah, it's all right. I'm here. I'm hanging with the boys, but I let everybody else play a little bit harder. That's the gut feeling. I'm sitting with Gabe.
A little bit under the radar this year.
He's
Like,
like, yeah,
he didn't.
I'm
He
gonna
was
make the cut.
It was pretty close between him and Jack at Pipe, wasn't it? It was only
Yeah.
one wave separating those guys. So
That big air Revy nearly landed. too.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you would have
Changed
landed that, it
everything.
would have changed.
Mm.
But can I just remind you guys on how fucking irritating the first song of the year was?
They nailed it.
You see what?
That's what they're here to do.
You
isn't
know
it?
what?
Jaymin, I have to say, it's already an improvement to last year because there was no being cool, putting on your new school shoes and getting fucking out and hammered and doing the fucking rap and whatever the shit that is fucking the back.
No, it was a bad song, and it needs to be improved. I watched the Vans pipe contest.
Mm-hmm.
They had like some funky beats in and out. I could listen to that all day. I loved it. You know, a bit of funk or something.
Yeah, but
this
Vans is a
retarded kind of like like studio recorded dog shit that they put on. It pisses me off. I got to run over and turn the volume down every time there's a commercial.
That's
ridiculous.
That's the keyboard button with the pre-programmed beats. You know,
Seriously, it's almost like no. They got to fucking up the standard on the song, like on the music.
It's just an
Yeah.
old Nokia ringtone.
There's so many good songs in the world, and they're picking that. Like I wouldn't.
Here comes another shout out to Wes Schaffner.
Scrape that song off the bottom of my shoe. You know what I mean?
Are we still talking about that?
Anyway, we'll just say that.
What really grinds your gears, Jaymin?
Oh my god! Yeah, because
That's beautiful.
I just.
Well, I totally agree with
I have
you, man.
audio fucking like.
Anyone working for the WSL listening to this, get you together.
seriously.
Get some decent music going.
There's going to be a million bands that would give freely a tuner to just be played on
And if you're in doubt, you just check out Jaymin's Spotify list, and there you go. You're good to go.
Dude, I'd rather listen to Waves Break, and than have to put myself through that
just let the
mental anguish.
microphone go.
Because for some reason, it's just it's like it's all brainwashing. India going in and just staying there until you're sitting out in the surf, waiting for perfect waves, and then of course this song comes back just through your head over and over like
I
a
watch
fucking
it on
broken
YouTube
record.
and it goes quiet in the break.
Yeah.
No ads.
There you go.
All right.
the
That's
only
what we
way.
need to do.
That's what I need.
That's the most
I need
exciting.
to tap into
that's
that.
the most exciting part. Is that those 5 minutes before they put the comp on, and they're just showing pipe in the background with no music, no
Just the
noise,
mic.
and it's
Just a mic.
That's beautiful.
and then all of a sudden the screen goes dark, and the ads are on. You're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It's on.
Oh.
It's on.
It's like a sleeping app. It's awesome. All right, how we go? All right, boys, let's throw it around the table. Picks for Sunset, boys and girls. Picks for Sunset.
Just pick your winner, not the whole team.
No, okay. I'll let Tim go first, seeing as my.
Let winners go
Oh
first.
yeah, like my.
Pick for Sunset, just to win.
Yeah, just a win.
Carissa.
Carissa for the girls.
Yeah, and I want to say Ethan for the men's, but I reckon John will get there. That's going to be a bit of a toss-up for who's going to be power surfer.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a hard
For me.
one. What about you, Per? What were you thinking?
Yeah, the problem with Tier A in the girls is that you only can pick one, and
We're back to that.
You can gamble, but you lose because you have to pick Carissa. There's not much discussion there, I think. Again, I've got Jack up there.
What were we saying? 4 to 6 foot.
Yeah, but it's from. You know what? George Janka is going to win the fucking thing.
Ooh, like that.
Heavy
Like that.
claim.
Nice, put some money on that. That'll be paying well.
I'm thinking for the girls, I'm gonna go with Molly Picklum.
Ooh,
Yeah, nice.
good stuff.
Just to throw a little spanner in the Hawaiian works.
Spanner in the works.
And for the men's, I think I'm gonna back Jack. Yeah. I'm
Back
tossing up between
Jack.
John,
Do it
John,
again.
Jack, and Lem. I think those guys are all
Jack
got
back to back.
Yeah, I could see Jack.
It could happen. He did it last year, didn't he? So that's when you're probably when he's at his peak, when he's just won one and he goes home and he does his meditation and then he goes out for the next one and he's good to go, isn't he?
Yeah. I made all my money on blackjack, so I'll take him twice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jack.
All right.
Do you know what? I'll chuck a spanner in the works as well. For the women's, I'll go Brisa.
Yeah.
I think that could be just a drift away from Carissa a bit, because I think that she didn't have the greatest run just now at pipe. I don't think so. I think that could be a good little chance for her to step it up a notch. Blokes, heavy. It's
There's so many good ones this year. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. The harder it is to pick, the better.
There is technically only three or maybe four, and that would be John, Ethan, and then possibly Zhao, and then what was the last one? There's one more.
Geordie could be sneaky.
Yeah, Geordie's pretty good out there.
Geordie's
I don't know. I
sneaky.
can't really
Maybe
put
not a
one.
win, but he could go pretty
Gabriel on his backhand. He's won out there before.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can really put one down for the men. It's quite hard.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to pretty much pick a complete quarterfinal. Yeah, and Geordie is definitely able to come into the quarterfinals.
Sure.
So that's pretty much more that you how to look at it.
Yeah.
Pick your quarterfinal. Pick the 8 ones that you think can make it to the quarterfinals, and then decide which one's going to make it through for your power surfer. And then I think you're riding very well.
Or you follow the conditions and you think, okay, he's going to surf good when it's big and when it turns shit like that, but he won't make it to the final. But I know he's going to get the points, so I'm going to put him.
And that's beautiful. You've got a really good first couple of days, then it drops down, but they're still surfing it, but then it goes back up again. So you end up with the surfer that you should have in the beginning, that should also surf in the middle, but then you chose somebody who's better at shitty waves.
Yeah.
It's a head fuckery, and we wish you all luck out there to unfuck your own head.
It is. It's the head fuckery of the highest form of fuckery.
Imagine if
Love it.
both surfers in the final get like a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
Just imagine. That's the heat score total.
The thing is, we'll soon know.
We'll soon know. We've got 2 days to go and we'll be golden.
Yeah. So I think that one pretty much wraps it up.
It does.
Tim is taking away from our sponsors for the winning of the Pipeline edition. Our beach trolley Wally pull your board behind you. Since he's got a baby now, he needs every free
did you
hand.
win the pram over there?
Clicks onto the pram.
Oh, nice.
That
Just
is, it's a perfect family gift.
Yeah.
it's the synergy between the pram. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Always
So
headwind.
shout out to Lofoten Surf Center and surfshop.no and the Surfed Shop.
Yeah.
Shout out to ourselves.
Jimbo's Dingoes. Shout out to Jimbo's Dingoes.
Shout out to Jimbo's
For all
Dingoes.
those people who need
Jimbo's Dingoes.
for all
Tested my
those.
fin out this morning and it just held true the whole way. New fin box in there from Jimbo's Dingoes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have
Download the
you
surf,
fixed
you know?
my tail yet?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Like that respect.
All right, there you
Yeah.
go.
When it comes to fixing my tails and my dings, I go to Jimbo's Dingoes. Jimbo's Dingoes. You can find us in. Okay, that's enough self-promotion.
But it was brought to you by the second podcast episode of the Shizzel on the Wizzel.
The Shizzel on the Wizzel. You heard it here first, maybe second or third, doesn't matter.
With
We're not
shiz.
really updated. But have a good pickings, people. Good luck at sunset. And then we shall return for humiliation and other results.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Tim. Thanks for all the tips from the
From my bum.
well, from the number one ranking Rever All Stars fantasy team.
Pressure's on. Thanks for having me, and thanks to everyone in Norway for giving me a warm welcome. It's been fun and got some waves and a little Sele crew there. We've got a good little community, so I'm happy to be here, and it's
Mate,
been great.
That's
Good to have
awesome
you,
to
brother.
hear. We'll get you back in the speaker tel.
And
pretty soon.
you had your first snow.
Yeah, I went snowboarding with I'll call us the emus, Jaymin, Jason and Sam, all the Aussie boys there that have telling me the do's and don'ts of what not and what to do in Norway, so
Yeah,
paving the way.
paving.
Good on you guys. All right, be safe out there.
Awesome.
Catch some waves, and then we'll see
Good
each
luck,
other
fellas.
in a couple of weeks.
Good luck. All right.
Jimbo's Dingoes.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Wizzel Shizzle.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
With Jaymin and Pear.
Hey.